Hey, well, welcome back to the ARC Path.
My name's Bernard,
And I'm Casey.
and I enjoy the ARC path.
You know what? I not only do I enjoy the ARC Path, I'm beginning to recognize that I want, and do I dare even say, need the ARC Path.
Hmm. There's a comfort in knowing what I could find.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best way to describe it is it doesn't disappoint, and I don't want to I don't want to use the term it's a safe place, but it's a place where I find comfort.
And I'm going to take back my word that I need in the same way that you don't want to really say a safe place,
Mm,
because I don't need it. I just don't think I could ever pull it out of my life.
yeah.
I mean, it's woven into the fabric of my own security, of a process of me living out my best life, and I'm not willing to give up my best life.
Mm,
In the same way that it's safe and comfortable, but our best life is driven by risk and challenge and reaching for more. So it's not this hiding place of I need a safe hiding place. It's this journey of exhilaration and opportunity that keeps us reaching for more and living better.
I love that, and just to give it some of it back to you, so it's always putting yourself out there, and and when you put yourself out there, but you're living that the best version of me today, in a sense. You're always gonna find that comfortable reality, that dynamic in your
Hmm.
life, because you know who you are.
Yeah.
You know your values. You know how you want to live. You can't predict the outcome because
Absolutely not.
you cannot. And I think that's the safety thing that I think most people try to go after is,
Hmm.
can I navigate what I do so I can control the outcome, and then I'm gonna pretend to be surprised by the outcome, even though I did all of that
All
to
the way
control
through the
through
process.
the process.
And so inherently in the arc process, the R and the K, the restoration and the kingdom, the building, growing, and reaching for more, and the celebration of discovery, are these components of, ooh, that's a bit uncomfortable.
Mm.
I'm learning something new. The risk of failure is high. I the identity of I'm going to celebrate where I'm at today, and somebody else might not.
Yes.
And yet, the longer I walk the arc path, the easier it is to be me.
Mm.
And I hate the question, but I ask it: is it hard to be you? Because sometimes we're living out this narrative in our lives. It's like I'm coming up short. I'm letting people down. It's not working right. I'm struggling. I'm in strife. Those are hard places to be. And if that's the definition of life for you, I bet it is hard to be you. But the longer I walk the arc path, the easier it is to be me.
Yeah. Well, I want us to get to the end,
Of course.
because I think it gives perspective on what we're talking about. It's what prevents you to be you.
Mm-hmm.
And today our focal point is leadership. We are talking about this is not about lifestyle, even though you can't take lifestyle out of it. But
Mm-hmm.
the focus is about leadership, and because you can't get to the best version of you to live out you without you leading the way. Because otherwise, you're gonna let others lead the way to their best version of you. You
Yeah.
know.
And the first step of leadership is leading yourself.
Yes.
And out of that, I'm going to go back to restoration. We talk about it as self-discipline and taking that step and saying yes to the very thing that is going to lead you to become who you've been designed to be at the fullness.
Mm.
So self-leadership, leading of thyself, is really at the crux of what we're talking about. But the question you posed is, what gets in the way?
What
What
gets in the way?
prevents me from stepping into leadership to lead myself? Where do I get stuck? And how does the arc path help me there?
I love that. I love that. And the um the journey that we've both been on is a lot of the stuff that we've been taught as young men in life, and then in business, and productivity.
Mm-hmm.
And so you develop all of these routines in your life that some, very few you question, but the majority, they just are in your life. They become pillars in your life. And then you live your life going, well, I can't, and I hear this all the time. I can't start my day without a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why? Why can't you? I mean, I drink coffee, but I can start a day without coffee.
Yeah.
Actually, I can go all day without a cup of coffee. Why can't you? Like, what is that I can't start my day without a cup? Oh, you don't know. And I don't know.
You don't know because that's their story.
That's their story.
And I'm gonna you made it practical and simple. Simple. I'm gonna make it complicated and emotional. Um, I can't not get angry about that. About what? Well, every time that happens, I just am filled with rage and anger. Oh, do you think you could try something else? No. I I mean, then that's
Oh,
it's
I love it.
practical as the
I
coffee
love it. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
there's an automated experience that is put into our routine and our pattern that every time something outside of me happens, I'm going to experience it this way.
I love it.
And we don't know how to lead ourselves down a different path.
Ah, gosh, he always does the hard ones. No, how do I lead myself? It's not my problem. It's not my problem.
It's the lack of coffee.
That person cut me off. Therefore, I'm going to.
Absolutely.
And I don't need to lead myself. They just need to not do that, or better yet, just get out of my way.
Oh, blame and excuses and denial is so comforting below the line, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Painful. But I think that's the awareness that we're trying to shift is all of these routines, all these habits that we've picked up along the way that unfortunately bring us pain. Now, do they all bring you pain? No, no. But imagine if you can identify, lead yourself to the
mhm.
ones that bring you pain, and go, you know what? I think I'm going to try something different today.
And so Bernard took us all the way to the end. I'm going to bring us all the way back to the beginning and make it very simple. If you say you can't, you won't. Period. If you say you can't, oh, I can't go without a cup of coffee. I can't not get angry about that. I can't lead myself. That's not me. If you say you can't, you won't. And as we step into leadership today, we're simply inviting you to get out of the comparison trap.
Yeah.
Comparison is the thief of all joy. There's a number of people have said that. One of them was a president a long time ago. That's Theodore Roosevelt, if you care. But at the end of the day, uh, you are the only one that is going to be able to lead yourself.
Yeah.
And that's an invitation for us all. And that's where the arc path begins to acknowledge I have choice. And then immediately somebody's, oh, yeah, maybe you have choice, Casey, but I don't have choice. Well, I'm going to go back and say, if you say you can't, then you won't.
Correct.
Acknowledgement is the power of choice. I didn't say that you're going to make every choice that is available, but to simply acknowledge there's more options than we're taking.
100%. 100%. The conversation is about leadership, and I think that's the hardest one. Is it is such a it's such a trigger word for people that are in leadership position.
Hmm.
And so when you start talking about leadership, everybody's like, well, not everybody is a leader. And that paradigm, that same concept, if you say you can't, you won't. If you declare that you are not a leader, then somebody else is leading you
Hmm.
to not your best life.
Yeah.
Who are you allowing to lead your life, and where are they taking you again? Whether it's your spouse, your family, your coworkers, a friend, it doesn't matter who is leading you where. And you lead yourself, and you lead. And what are
Mm.
you leading yourself in? Your choices.
Okay. Thank you for setting that up so beautifully. I had a thought.
Okay.
And the beauty of that path just came across because I'm going to come back to the choices. Nobody was born a leader.
Mm,
Nobody. You are not born a leader, but nobody was born a loser either.
no.
Now, you might have been born into a different environment,
Yes.
but what everybody is born is a chooser, and you have the choice until somebody either takes it away and you let them,
Mhm.
and then you gotta become back to a chooser and go, why did I let that? Or you give up your choice, or you simply take it and you go, I have a choice. So I'll say it all together. No one's born a leader, no one's born a loser. Everybody's born a chooser until you stop choosing.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, following other people in their choices, following other people in their lifestyle, even though it makes you comfortable, it makes you compromise your values. Once you start compromising your values, it tweaks your character.
Yeah.
And once you start down that path, then you find more people to follow in that regard, and then you let them lead you. And I think that's why, again, when we started this, we talked about it's a comfortable place to be on the arc path
Yeah.
when you're
Yep.
leading yourself, when you know, hey, I get to show up here and spend time with my friend, chatting, talking. And this is, for me, this is a joy. It's a place where there's so much newness and excitement that we find. But what are we talking about? It's what I want to talk about, what I'm comfortable with, and that's what you get to do every. You get to choose that every day, and it's a fantastic thing.
And this act of leadership is not selfish. It may sound selfish, but it really is about growing our self worth. It is about growing into who we are because we're not living into comparison. I'm not trying to figure out how to be more like you. I'm actually inviting the more awareness of who I am and what does it look like to be like me. But what comes up in this process, as we say, everybody's born a chooser. What happens when we recognize that we have a pattern in our life of making poor choices?
Correct.
How do we shift that?
Well, and that's kind of where that's what you find on the arc path is mentorship. You find people that you look at their life choices. You look at them. Do they smile a lot?
Hmm.
Are they angry a lot? And you go, who do you want to follow? Who do you want to look at them and go, I wonder how he achieves smiling every day, or success in whatever metric that you see is success. Pick your mentors, and not one, mentors with an S, and that's really one of the really important ways.
And pick mentors that are going to challenge you. The challenges and obstacles and circumstances that are in front of you are a gift. And this is why when we talk about the arc path, it's not an easy path. It's actually choosing a hard path. And we just invite you to choose your hard.
Yeah.
And sometimes those very things that are the hardest you'll ever do are going to be the most rewarding that you'll talk about forever.
Yeah.
And in this process, it's, I mean, I'm going to add one more layer on it. Don't overthink it. Just take a deep breath. And if you make a poor decision, learn from your poor decision. This is the first part of the arc path. This is the A and the H. This is the acknowledgement and the healing. Healing is a release of the past. Healing is a release of the pain. Healing is the release of the expectation to be perfect. So go make a bad choice. And it's only bad because you recognized it didn't result in what you wanted.
Yes.
And then go make a new choice.
Right. And but don't repeat that. I mean, I think the
Yeah.
most of us when you bring up this conversation of leadership and leading yourself, those clogs that we were talking about earlier are the poor choices that bring us pain, and we repeat. And you go, but why? Well, because that's just how it is. I can't change that. That's my routine this morning, and I was just making light of my routine this morning, where
Mm-hmm.
I have to fill the water tank and the coffee machine. Actually, I have to do it at home and in the office.
Poor
Poor me.
Bernard. Oh,
But it's a choice. It's what I love to do. I celebrate water, and it's a great time to pray when I'm filling water, and
yeah.
that's just my routine. It's just I get to fill vats of water, and bless the water, and that's joy for me. But that's my routine in this moment in my life, and so, but you look at this and go, can I start my day without that? Of course. Am I leading myself and my family and my community in doing that? Yeah, but it brings me satisfaction in my
Mm-hmm.
life to do that, and it's a small task.
Yeah. Just yesterday, I was reflecting on my Monday morning rush hour. And I commute less than a mile to the office. So just, it's less than a mile. There's
I,
a light and a stop sign.
thank you.
So my Monday morning rush hour happens long before I leave the house. In fact, between By 9 a.m. on Monday morning, I've had three literally international Zoom calls and experiences. I've worked out for at least 30 minutes. I've walked the dog for 10 minutes. And that's my Monday morning rush hour.
Yeah.
And what a joy. Like some people goes, you're crazy. You're up at 5 to have a 6 a.m. to do this, to move 7 to bed 9. What do you do at 9? I start making some phone calls to people who matter most to me. And you know, it's just like, that's my routine.
Yes.
And I choose it on Monday morning because it's like a roller coaster catapult, like those roller coasters that go up to 60 mile an hour in 2 seconds, whatever. You come out of the gate for me on Monday morning, and I'm at 120 miles an hour
Yeah.
by about 5:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an early morning riser. Don't get me wrong. This is
Correct.
not like, oh, Casey just wakes up, it's early for him. It's a choice to
Yeah.
lead myself into a better experience. And that carries me almost till Thursday.
Yeah.
And then by Thursday, I have to decide, hmm, what do I want
Did I take
what
the throttle off?
what do I want to do next? And as you and I both know, our weekends are not letdowns. Our weekends are not the weekend of our week. They're the ramp up of the next week.
I
Anyway,
love that.
that's a tangent
I
just to
love it.
say,
It is.
what is your schedule? What is your routine? What is your pattern? How do you lead?
Well,
Because you're choosing it.
I'm getting ready to fight.
All right, here
So
we
all
go.
right.
This is
So
going to be good.
well, because I want you to have victory. I want you. It's just what I don't live like that. That's crazy. Who does that? I burn the candle on the other side of the. That's what I choose for me. But here's the secret. I'm going to give you guys the secret right now, because he just gave it to me, and I gave it back to him. Victory through discernment,
Mm,
guys. How do you live all of this stuff out that we're talking about? It's built inside of you.
yeah.
But it's not up here. It's somewhere in here. It's in this region.
So you're
It's in your
listening to a
gut.
podcast. He pointed to his brain.
Yeah. Well, I first pointed to my brain, and then I pointed to my gut. The victory through discernment. Your discernment is your gut.
Yeah.
And what is that gut feeling that you have? Does it feel wrong that I have to do this, and therefore it is wrong? And then, but if that brings you pain, then you have to double check. You have to check in. Your discernment is real. Nobody taught you discernment. They all taught you don't discern, just obey and listen and follow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna live a lifetime to break that. And if you want to be a successful leader, leading yourself, your family, your community, your business, leading our society, do you understand discernment? Because it's built inside of you. There's a machine that's you. There's a discernment central. That's your like CIA central that's inside of you. I don't know how else to describe it. What is the so ready, aim,
Ready, fire.
ready? So it's a RFI. You have an RFI inside of you. It's not a CIA. It's an RFI inside of you. That's called discernment.
I don't know what the I is, but we'll put it in the aim.
Oh,
I love it.
AE. I'm sorry, I can't spell this.
Ready,
one.
fire, aim. I'm gonna rescue Bernard out of
Thank
this
you.
moment because he's actually running faster than his legs can move
Thank
right
you.
now. It's really enjoyable to watch. He's like, "Oh, I got it! Woo! Look at me go!" But that's beautiful leadership, and that's exactly what we're inviting you to do. Is the concept he's sharing is ready, fire, aim.
Yes.
So many people get stuck aiming and aiming and aiming. They get ready to get ready, and they're getting ready to get ready, and they're doing absolutely nothing. And then they make a decision, and they do nothing. And they go, but I made him a decision, and yet they did nothing.
Yes.
You have to put it into the action, and the ready, fire, aim is the action to pull the trigger.
Yes.
And if it didn't hit your target, aim.
Go back.
Are you ready? Fire.
Go back.
Did you miss your target? Aim. Ready, fire, aim. In this cycle here, and what I love that Bernard doesn't read all the books I read. And he stumbles and bumbles into these concepts that are just what I would call divine. And what Bernard just shared is so reminding me of Malcolm Gladwell's expression in the book Blink. It's actually, gosh, it's getting old now, that book. But if you go look it up, go read it. It is fabulous. I mean, listening to Malcolm Gladwell as an author, whether you audiobook it or read it, it's always a ready, fire, aim experience. That's the way he writes in his narrative. It's like you're like, wow, I feel like I'm out in front of where I'm supposed to be. Yeah, because he already fired the bullet and you're following it. And then he goes, hey, let me re-aim.
Yes.
Go read him. But blink is the concept that Bernard unpacked for you in your gut. I'm taking the science side of it. There's more neurons in your gut brain than there is in your head or brain upstairs in your mind. And you have to learn to trust your gut.
Mm.
And that's the ready, fire, aim. Your analysis becomes your paralysis, and your discernment is not going to come out of your evaluative thinking.
Yeah.
It's going to come out of your lifestyle living. It's going to come
Yes.
out of your leadership decision making. It's going to come out of your convictions for values and standing up for what you believe in before you think about what's going to happen if I do this.
Oh,
There
you're
is
sunk. You're
you're
sunk.
sunk.
Yeah.
I wonder if I should stand up and say something. Oh, that ship just sailed.
Yes.
I wonder if this is the right time to invest. Oh, that ship just sailed. I
Yes.
wonder if I
Yes.
need to help somebody.
It's
Too
too
late.
late. Yeah. Too late.
Too late. Today we're talking about leadership. We're talking about your choice. And the
Mm.
fact that if you say you can't, you won't. But if you say you will, then you've already had the opportunity to do it.
Yes.
So go do it.
Go do it.
Just shut up and go.
Yes.
The other side of that is shut up and listen.
Yes.
But stop wasting time, spending energy, aiming.
Mm. I love that you really tied it into the cost, the financial cost of wasting time as a business owner. The cost of miscommunication is the highest. I mean, if, I don't care who you talk to, that's number one. But wasting time is got to be a big number two contender, guys. And we do that in our families. We've done that with our kids. We do that with our parents. We do that in our businesses all the time. And it's just this concept of well, somebody else is supposed to make this decision, right? And we keep, I think that's why a
Hmm.
lot of people have neck aches because we're looking around to see
Yeah.
who's gonna step up and make this decision. And
You are.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that's kind of one of the things that on the arc path is you're in that center stage of your life. That's it. It's your life. You're not the center stage. You might be president of the United States. Amen. But in your life, you are center stage in your life. You make the calls, and you evaluate, and I'll just pass it back to you.
So we want to invite you to make a choice today. The choice we're inviting you today, thanks for listening. Share this. Pass it on to somebody else and say, hey, I think this is the message I needed and I'd love to share it with you. Tell them what you got.
Yeah.
Be sure to subscribe. Follow along. We're putting out a podcast every week. We're walking through the 5 lenses of the ARC path. We're simply sharing our life story and owning it. But don't just passively take this in. Get involved. Join us in the ARC group coaching sessions. They happen every week and they dig a little deeper into who you are and how do you declare your best life now. Get involved in our community. Come along. Come to the studio, hang out, join us on the Insight Line. There are so many ways for you to connect with us. And it's not because we are going, oh, we need you. It's no, we want to celebrate you. And we can't celebrate you if we don't know what's going on. So share with us what's going on in your life, and we will choose to come and meet you there.
Yes.
Amen. Hallelujah. Praise
Yeah.
the Lord. Let it go.
Let it go. Love it, guys.
Thanks for
We'll see you soon.
listening, and we'll see you back here soon.